So I want to talk about what it means to improve your egg quality naturally, because you've probably heard me talk about that a lot. And I really want to be clear when I talk about improving your egg quality naturally, so that way you're not confused about the methods that some people use to improve their or attempt to improve their egg quality naturally, with what my version of improving your egg quality naturally is. So hopefully by now you are at the point where you are, wanting to improve your egg quality naturally and you've already made that choice. But usually what happens is that since this is a realm where you really are sort of left to your own, and there really is no guideline out there, and your medical doctor typically isn't able to help you with this unless you have like a naturopath, or you're seeing maybe a doctor that has some experience with working with natural herbs and natural medicines. Right. But usually women aren't really encouraged to even go down this path. Right. And of course, if you are seeking IVF, a lot of times you are not going to really be, exposed or introduced or even encouraged perhaps to look at natural remedies or natural methods until you have had maybe 3, 4, 5 failed treatments, and then you may be encouraged to look at, so-called alternative methods. So in this video, I just want to delve into that a little bit and help to give you more clarity on what I mean when I talk about improving your egg quality naturally. So one of the first things that come to mind when we're talking about improving your egg quality naturally is really honoring the process, really understanding what improving your egg quality naturally means, being aware that natural herbs and natural remedies and things like natural treatments, they are not the same as, pharmaceutical drugs. They are not the same as medical procedures. You're not going to get results overnight. And that is one of the main sort of hiccups, or one of the main things that people do not necessarily like, or that's not really appealing when, of course, if you want to have your baby yesterday, and if you're really, really wanting something to happen really quickly and give you results really quickly, the natural method can be somewhat, off-putting, or, perhaps even disappointing if you don't really, again, understand the process of improving your egg quality, the process of how herbs help to, improve your egg quality and improve your fertility, and deal with other issues, other underlying things such as fibroids, PCOS, and blocked tubes, right? And so when you are improving your egg quality naturally, it's really, really important to have a general awareness of using herbs. If you look at any studies, if you look at, any sort of, even regular medicine, even your regular medication that you may get from your doctor, a lot of times those don't work overnight too, right? They'll tell you that, you need to take this for X amount of days, different times of the day, maybe AM, PM, and you may need to take it until the bottle is empty. And a lot of times, sometimes there may be 80 pills in the bottle, 60 pills in the bottle, 120 to 180 pills in the bottle. So, that right there tells you that not even your regular meds, not even your regular medication is going to work overnight, right? But somehow a lot of times women just have this inclination, or like, I don't know where it comes from, that a conventional medicine is faster than natural medicine, right? So just to dispel that, again, the same thing with the herbs. It takes time, right? And so, like I was saying, if you look at any studies related to natural herbs, essential oils, and things like that, a lot of times you'll see that they have been using these herbs, or these remedies, these solutions, they've been using them for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, right? And usually 12 weeks is like around the cutoff mark, somewhere between 8 and 12, right? And that just shows you that that is sort of the time frame that you may also need to keep in mind when you are also working with natural remedies and natural treatments for fertility and for equality. But what tends to happen is that, again, because there is this this urge and this want to have like a magic pill and an overnight solution, what tends to happen is that rather than allowing your body to do its magic and to use the herbs and use the natural remedies and whatever treatment that happens, a lot of women typically end up in this cycle of trying anything and everything. Whenever they find out about a new product, they go and they buy it. They try it once, it doesn't work, doesn't get them any results, and so they're led to being disappointed, which helps them to come to the conclusion that this product doesn't work, or this method doesn't work, or this natural treatment doesn't work, this natural remedy doesn't work, right? And again, it doesn't make sense if you understand how natural herbs work. For the most part, it's going to take some time. You're going to consume the herb, okay? Your body is going to start to use the different parts of it, the different properties are going to start to activate and stimulate different receptor sites. And then the more you consume the herb, the more, you either are applying the herb or somehow getting, different the parts of herb into your body. Over time, it's going to have an effect. Usually for most herbs, this is how it works. There are some herbs you're not going to get a result, period, for at least a couple months if you're using them, such as like burdock root, and some of those herbs, depending on what you're using them for, you do have to take it for a longer period of time, right? Now, that's not to say that you can't get any results quickly with any type of herb that you are taking, or any combination of herbs, or any treatment. It's just like a general guideline, a general understanding that I want you to have, to understand that, again, it is going to take time. The benefit is, okay, the plus, the mega benefit that I see when you are, again, using natural remedies and natural herbs and natural treatments, is that the results that you do get are longer lasting. Okay, because for one, you have like adopted this new routine. Okay, you adopted this new routine, and you're practicing this, consuming this herb at a set time every day. You probably have run into some situations where you realize that you have to stop, consuming other things while you are taking this herb. And so by you consuming these other things, which may not be good for you, now other things in your body are starting to clear up, are starting to improve, and starting to become better. And so the results that you have, at the end of whatever period of time that you typically might take your herb for, okay, those results, they're not just going to fade away necessarily once you stop taking the herb. And again, unless you go back to consuming or doing things that maybe you stopped while taking the herb, those issues might not ever come back as well. I know for myself, ever since I did, my own personal fertility journey, that those issues, they haven't come back, 5 or more years later, right? But I don't want to get too much into my own personal experience right now. I just want to, again, help you to understand what improving fertility naturally means. The next thing is that, improving your fertility naturally, especially when it comes to your egg quality, okay, improving your egg quality naturally, let's just say, is having a deeper connection to your womb, having a deeper connection to your ovaries, to your tubes, to your vagina, to everything that relates to your reproductive system, which is going to help you to birth your baby. When you are improving your egg quality or your fertility naturally, it is very, very common for you to, develop this new awareness, okay, of your what's going on, okay, below your belly button, what's happening, in your womb center. And this is really, really beautiful, because we are so used to, as women, in, the Western Hemisphere, possibly working 9-to-5 jobs in corporate America, we're so used to sort of, being in our heads a lot, and having to sort of be go, and having to, get things done fast, and not really having time to really sit and ponder, to even think, to even acknowledge, that, hey, we have a whole womb right here, unless, of course, you're menstruating or you're having some type of reproductive issue. Usually we just sort of ignore it. And, I'm not speaking for everyone, but, this from what I remember, okay, that's just what happened with me. And it happens with a lot of women. We typically forget about anything and everything below our belly button, and we just sort of operate in this sort of masculine, automatic, go, get things done, work harder mode. And that doesn't really help, okay, because our womb gives us a lot of signs. It gives us a lot of warnings. It gives us a lot of signals. It is constantly feeding us messages back and forth, relaying between our brain and our mind and other parts of our body, constantly sending messages to let us know the state that it's in, to let us know the condition of our womb, how it feels, what's happening, the different times of our cycle. But if we're not in tune with this, and if we have, for, let's say, decades, been accustomed to ignoring any of these messages, or even somewhat, neglecting to care and to treat our womb as though it deserves, its own unique, let's just even say, routine, self-care, budget even, okay? Just like you have a budget for your hair, you have a budget for nails, you got a budget for makeup, but really does the budget for our womb extend beyond maybe some pads that may not be the best quality for our womb, right? And so when you are improving your egg quality naturally, because you are possibly consuming herbs, possibly doing natural fertility treatments or methods, and also having to do maybe other things, dealing with, having a fertility mindset and watching what you eat, and possibly other things that require maybe physical exercise, because now you are, again, prioritizing your fertility and you're paying attention to all of those things. Now, again, almost automatically, you are now more conscious of what is happening with your womb. So you may start to feel when you ovulate, you may start to feel, other things like different stimulations happening. You may start to feel, what may be triggering certain things. So maybe you consume something and then you realize when your cycle comes that you're having a worser cycle. Or maybe you realize, well, whenever I do X, Y, or Z, my cramps are worse or my cramps are less, right? So when you're improving your egg quality naturally, you're going to start to pay more attention to your reproductive organs, to your wombs, your eggs, and your ovaries. And that's going to help a lot because, you'll begin to understand that, hey, you are getting results. They're just very subtle and they do require your attention. And it really, really helps you to reconnect, okay, with your womb center in that aspect, which is part of the reason why I say that being more feminine or operating more in your feminine energy helps to improve egg quality. Because again, once you become more aware, you start to do things or to avoid certain things dependent on how you feel within your womb, within your reproductive region, okay, area, and like, the different feelings that you're having from that, and also looking at your cycle and things like that. So number 3, okay, improving your fertility naturally, as I mentioned before, is not an overnight solution. It's not a quick fix. It's not one and done. Okay, it's not going to I would even say that if you're just trying anything and everything as far as it relates to, natural herbs, maybe you're going to the herbal store every time you read something online, or, you see one of your friends, maybe they told you how they got pregnant or something like that, and maybe they tried something natural, and you're just trying random different products in here. I wouldn't even necessarily consider that to improve your fertility naturally or anything. I would really just say, like, you really are just, you're sampling to some degree, to some degree, you're just sampling products. And again, this is no judgment. It is just something that I have noticed. And, maybe you didn't notice that what you're doing is not necessarily a solution in and of itself. So with that, improving your egg quality naturally really is having something in place. It really truly is having some type of routine, having some type of strategy, having a plan, right? Having a ritual even, okay? Just because you're improving your egg quality, just because there is so much pain, okay, surrounding infertility and poor egg quality, does not mean that you cannot enjoy the process, right? And so when you create a ritual out of your experience, when you make your experience yours and you reclaim your femininity, your fertility, when you reclaim your ability to conceive, when you reclaim your ability for your eggs to restore and be rejuvenated and to be able to produce a baby, okay, which starts with the mind. When once you do that, okay, you're able to see that, you know, this does not have to be a doom and gloom situation. You can enjoy the experience of improving your equality, and one way to do that is to actually create a ritual out of your experience, to, you know, not just have a routine. A routine is fine, right? But how many people like doing routines just for the sake of doing routines? You know, not many. And, you know, even for myself, I can even say that, you know, one of the hardest parts about not having a routine is, one, not having a routine, but number two is falling off of your routine, right? But when you make it part of an enjoyable experience by making it like a ritual, by doing things that are going to elicit good feelings, that are going to elevate your mind, elevate your mood, and again, in the process, elevate or increase or improve your egg quality, okay, it's a much more enjoyable experience. You're much less likely to fall off of your routine, okay, and it gets the job done. So just to summarize everything for you, improving your fertility or your egg quality naturally really means using natural fertility methods. And in addition to that, making sure that you understand that there is a process. It's not necessarily going to happen overnight, although there are ways for you to, again, improve your fertility fast or faster with natural fertility methods. So don't get me wrong on that aspect. In fact, I actually have a program where I show you my 7 fast feminine fertility rituals, our fertility techniques, which I would love to share with you in a minute. But improving your fertility naturally means using natural fertility methods, treatments, herbs, protocols, but really honoring and understanding, you know, what you're using, that it takes time. And again, you don't necessarily need to understand everything about, you know, the herbs or the protocols or the methods that you're using. It does help, but just making sure that you honor the process is like the main key. Number two is, you know, developing your awareness, or, you know, embracing your awareness that you will have of tapping into your womb, your femininity, okay, and into more of like a spiritual essence of being a woman. And number three is making sure that you have something in place, okay, so that again, you're not out here trying anything and everything and then wondering why you're not getting any results, because that is a big issue that I see with why a lot of women aren't getting any results with the natural methods. If you would like to learn more, make sure to download my How to Improve Your Egg Quality Naturally for Women Over 35 PDF. It's completely free. In addition to that, if you're on Instagram, make sure to DM me the words activate, or the word activate, and I'll DM you my Fertile Woman Activation mini training, so that way you can begin to dive into what it means to improve your fertility by tapping into your femininity. And then thirdly, I would love to invite you to my Fertility Goddess Rituals workshop, which I am opening really, really soon. I'm super, super excited about this, and I would love to have you there. It is a workshop where I teach you 7 of the fast feminine fertility techniques that I have encouraged women to use over the years to get the results that they want. And they're also the ones that I use, or some of them are, which I have added on to that since I began, you know, my own journey. But I've added on to that, and I am again sharing it with you. And so I would love to share that with you in this workshop. So if you want to learn more about that, make sure to go to nattassiawinter.com/fertility goddess rituals, and you can find all the information to that in the description. So I really hope this video helps. If it does, give it a like, make sure to share it with a friend, and I'll see you in another one.